are back here at Bartizak Field getting set for Game 2 of our Friday Skyline doubleheader here in Kings Point after the Mount St. Mary Knights played spoiler in Game 1 on the right arm of Michael Passeri, his first career complete game, a 7-inning complete game, one-hit shutout of Merchant Marine. First time the Mariners have been shut out this year, first time since April 25th of last year. The Mariners were shut out as Mount St. Mary, with nothing to play for in the standings, wins the first game 3-0, and now we'll go for the doubleheader sweep in the final game of their 2026 season. George Whipwreck, Frank Rampin, back here with you. Mariners, as we said, just held to the one hit. Baxter Hamilton, the tough luck loser, giving up 2 of the 3 runs in Game 1. And now, on the Mount St. Mary side of things, they throw their left-hander, the senior from Kaneohe, Hawaii, Peter Papalardo, the fanciest name in the Skyline Conference, number 88 in blue, takes the mound for Mount St. Mary as they go for the doubleheader sweep. He is opposed by Eddie Lippert for Merchant Marine. Papalardo on the year, a 1-5 record, an 8.55 ERA. In 40 innings this year, 63 hits, 50 runs, only 38 of them earned, 19 walks, 19 strikeouts. So Papalardo does have command issues as well. A 360 opponent batting average. This is his first career pitching appearance against Merchant Marine for the senior. And for Eddie Lippert, another senior going at it here on the Merchant Marine side, 2 1/8, 4.22 ERA in 21 1/3 innings this year, 24 hits, 13 runs, 10 of them earned, 9 walks, 15 strikeouts. Opponent sitting 269 against Mr. Lippert this year. Eddie, in his previous appearances against Mount St. Mary, both in relief, 2 2/3, 2 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 5 walks, and 5 strikeouts. 4 of those walks came last year as he led a 6-3 lead getaway and gave up 4 runs in the 6th before the Knights walked off Caden Pearson Newberg 8-7. As your Game 2 pitching matchup as the Mariners look for a split of a doubleheader here this evening and try to keep their quest for a home playoff game within reach. Take a look at the lineups here for Game 2. First for the 4th-year head coach, Trevor Purcell. Keeps the lineup pretty similar with a couple of switches here and there. Axel Martinez leads it off at shortstop once again, wearing 0. Justin Stella in center field moves up to the number 2 spot in the order, number 2. Noah Anderson right back in the 3-hole in right field, number 3. Aiden Marshall, the senior in his final game as a collegiate athlete, cleans it up in left field, number 24. Caleb Morgan at first base, bats 5th, number 17. Hitting 6th is number 5, Stephen Volk, who drove in 2 of the 3 runs in Game 1. Gregory Harrison hits 7th at third base, number 15. Richard Lamping behind the plate for both games of the doubleheader hits 8th. And Anthony Voss, who came in for the ejected Christian Pariza, who's not in the lineup here in Game 2, Voss hits 9th. Number 55, and on the mound, as we said, for Mount St. Mary, is number 55, the 6-foot left-hander from Kaneohe, Hawaii, Peter Papalardo, making the final start of his collegiate career. Here's the Mariners lineup. Papalardo will go up against Braden Vasquez, right back in left field, leading off, number 23. Landon Schott at shortstop once again, number 1 hits 2nd. Luke Crewer DHs for the 2nd straight game, number 5 in the 3-hole. Christian Gomez hits cleanup behind the plate here in Game 2, number 18. Charles Callahan, the senior, playing what he hopes is not his final game at Bartizak Field in right field, number 3. Jason Brown right back there at second base after a strong game in the field in Game 1, hits 6th, number 2. Drew Davis takes over at first base with Gomez behind the plate, hitting 7th, number 15. Axel Preckle takes Tommy Chiapetti's spot for Game 2 in center field, number 36, and Davin Fulton right back there at third, number 8. And as we mentioned, Eddie Lippert on the mound trying to play stopper after Michael Passeri held the Mariners just 1 hit in Game 1 in his first career complete game, a 7-inning shutout. Mariners only hit in Game 1 was the bloop single down the right field line by Charles Callahan with 1 out in the 4th, and now Eddie Lippert will try to secure a split for Merchant Marine here in Game 2, a 9-inning game. We're set for a 6:30 first pitch, and you just wonder We know what the message was from Mike Notebart to his team in between games. One hit in a game like this was not going to cut it. How do you expect the Mariners offense to come out in game 2?
Well, for one, let's hope they can get a leadoff base runner. We got to come get things going early and often here. Make this pitcher work. We said this earlier in the first game, George. When you play a team whose season's over, this is their last game of the season, they're just out here playing free. And we could hear that in the first game. The dugout was loud, the chirping was there. You could hear it all game long. So the Mariners just need to get themselves into this ball game, loosen up a little bit. They never got a chance to really settle into the ball game and take that breath, settle in. So hopefully that can come early in this one.
Mariners only got the leadoff man on once in game 1. That was the inning Trout hit into that 1-4-6-3 double play as Eddie Lippert appears ready to go. He'll face Axel Martinez to lead it off here in game 2. Martinez, a base hit in the opener as the umpires switch spots now. Rich Capitelli behind the plate and Jeremy Binks over there at first base.
That was good work right there. That was good work.
Lippert's ready to go, Martinez is ready to go, and we're ready to go for game 2, the final home game of the regular season here at Bardazac Field. Misses for ball 1 to Axel Martinez, who went 1 for 4 in the opener, struck out. Knights won the first game 3-0 despite leaving 10 men on base. Mariners with just 1 hit in the first game, left only 4 on base as that one catches the zone 1-1. It'll be Martinez, Stella, and Anderson for the Knights. Here's to start off game 2 with first pitch at 6:31. 1-1. Up and away, 2 balls and a strike.
And no Parisa in this one after ejected last game. Obviously not eligible to play in this game. So Stella moves up from the 9 hole to the 2. And we saw Voss come in after Priscilla got hurt.
And wouldn't you know, it was Anthony Voss who caught the final out of Mike Pissari's first career complete game. Lippert after the foul ball, even 2-2 for Eddie this year. Thrust into the starting role, making his 4th start of the year and of his career. The Deer Park native out of St. Anthony's High School. Pitched a clean inning on Sunday against Mount St. Vincent. Also had 3 1/3 against St. Joe's Long Island, where he surrendered 2 runs on 6 hits. And that one just missed full count. So Lippert, who is normally in control of his commands, runs full with Axel Martinez, starting here in game 2. Shadows are a bit of a factor with the 6:30 start. Payoff pitch is lined out towards center field. Preckle moving over, and Axel makes the catch for out number 1, and this is how we begin here in game 2. So Preckle, who is shading his eyes with the sun glare, able to reel that one in, and now Justin Stella, the center fielder for Mount St. Mary, who went 1 for 2 in game 1. Mount St. Mary in game 1, folks, they had 11 hits. By my count, 10 singles and 1 double.
And that double was the first hit of the game.
That was Aiden Marshall's double, which produced the eventual game-winning run back in game 1. Another chance for Preckle on the fly ball to center by Stella. Axel pulls it in. 2 fly balls to center, 2 outs for Eddie Lippert here in the first. And we should note, Axel Martinez did fly out to Axel Preckle. So there is a meeting of the Axels to start the game on the fly ball from Axel Martinez to Axel Preckle. And now we wonder, when Axel Preckle comes to bat for the first time in game 2, will he hit a ground ball to Axel Martinez at shortstop? See if the full circle comes around as Noah Anderson takes a strike. It's 0-1. Anderson 1 for 4. The run scored in game 1. Takes a breaking ball outside corner strike. It's 0-2. So Lippert pounding the zone after running the count full with Martinez to start the game. Got a quick fly out from Stella. Now looking to retire the side. 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. 0-2 from Eddie. Runs up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. If Anderson can extend the inning, Aiden Marshall would be next for Mount St. Mary here in inning number 1. 1-2 from Lippert. It is hit on the ground toward third. Backing up on it is Fulton. Makes the long throw across the diamond. Picked on a hop by Davis for the out. Excellent play on both ends. First by Fulton to retrieve that ball cleanly and then throw across the diamond. Great pick by Davis. Knights go down in order in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. None left. We head to the bottom of the first in Kings Point. It's the Knights nothing. And the Mariners coming to bat on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network. The senior from Kaneohe, Hawaii, Peter Papalardo, making his final career pitching appearance here in Game 2, the last game of the season for Mount St. Mary. His first career pitching appearance against the USMMA Mariners. Papalardo in the senior year, a 1-5 record, an 8.55 ERA in 40 innings, 63 hits, 50 runs, only 30 of them earned, 19 walks, 19 strikeouts. Opponents hitting a blistering 360 against this left-hander wearing number 88. Come on, what are we doing? On the mound out there, and now Jeremy Binks, who got involved in the 7th inning of Game 1 with Christian Pereza, now has a conversation with Peter Papalardo.
How has this not happened during warm-ups?
And Trevor Purcell immediately pops out of the third base dugout and is halted in his tracks and now restarts. So Jeremy Binks says if he hadn't seen enough of me in Game 1, here we go in Game 2. Not sure what this is about. Now Rich Capitelli is coming over. And as you said, Frank, whatever this is, how was this not handled during warm-ups?
He just threw 10 pitches, or 8 pitches in between innings. Did he not see what he's telling him about now in those 8 pitches?
No, I'm not sure what that was about. But in any event, Papalardo's still in the game. Vasquez ready to go. And Papalardo's first pitch, the over-the-top delivery, is in for a strike.
It looked like it had something to do with Papalardo's windup. Not sure exactly what, but something.
Which I will say this. The senior Peter Papalardo is making his final career pitching appearance. Why would we wait until now, the last start of the young man's career, to have an issue with his windup?
You know, sometimes you just want to be a part of the game, George.
I guess so. Vasquez would love to make himself part of the game here in the first as he takes an 0-2 pitch just off the plate. 1 and 2. It'll be Vasquez, Trout, and Krewer trying to get the wheels turning against Peter Papalardo here in the first. 1-2 from Vasquez, or to Vasquez from Papalardo. Big 6-foot left-hander is punched out to right field. Anderson right there waiting for it. Makes the catch for out number 1. So Peter Papalardo making the start here, as we mentioned, the last of his career. This is career appearance, number 38, and his 14th and final career start. This is 11th start here in his senior season, has a career high 40 1/3 innings pitched this year after throwing 35 1/3 last year in his first pitch inside to Landon Trout. 1-0. Trout, an 0-for in game one, most notably the very unlucky 1-4-6-3 double play that dashed the Mariners' best chance to score in the first game, and that one misses somewhere. 2-0. Luke Crewer on deck as the sun has gone hiding behind the clouds as we cross over 6:40 here Eastern time. Mariners hoping with the sun disappearing, their offense will appear for the first time today as Trout takes a strike. 2-1. Crewer on deck. Mariners managed just 5 base runners in the first game, a single, 2 walks, and 2 hit batsmen against Michael Passeri. 2-1 to Trout is in there. 2-2. Papalardo pounding the strike zone. Gets back even in the count. And Trout, one of the toughest Mariners to strike out, stands in with a 2-2 count. 2-2 pitch, runs down and away, full count. Trout, for the record this year, folks, has only struck out 4 times in 98 at-bats, which is sensational. Not quite as good as JT Torres from Old Westbury, but it's pretty close. 3-2 is hit right back up the middle into center field, a base hit. Trout was right on that one and put it right back where it came from. And after it took till the 4th inning for Merchant Marine to get their first hit in game one, Landon Trout picks up the first hit here with 1 out in the first. And now Luke Crewer stands in. Crewer, a tough game one in the 3-0 loss. Crewer 0-for-3 with a strikeout against Michael Passeri. We'll see if Papalardo pays as much attention to the runners as Passeri did, and he misses up high for ball 1.
Remember, earlier in that game, Passeri was really focused on, I believe it was Trout at first base, and cost him.
Yeah,
Threw a wild pitch.
had 4 throwovers, and eventually, as you said, Frank uncorked one to the backstop, and Trout got to second base anyway. The 1-0 coming to Crewer, who could use a hit in the worst way. He's 5 for his last 30. Since his 22-game hitting streak got snapped by Farmingdale back on April 19th. Infield at double play depth for the Knights with Martinez at short and Voss at second. 1-0 to Crewer. This is inside off the plate. 2-0.
It's been real tight on those inside corners, both to Trout and Crewer so far. So both the lefty and the righty not given that inside corner.
Mariners appear to be a lot more relaxed in the batter's box here in game 2. Tracking the ball a lot better out of the hand of Peter Papalardo. And Crewer, a hefty swing and a miss. It's 2-1. Seen Crewer pull that top hand off a couple of times on these swings and misses. And we know Luke Crewer, he is certainly strong enough to hit the ball one-handed, but when he is at his best, he's got 2 hands on the bat, driving it all over the field. 2-1 to Luke, is driven out to left center field.
Right at him.
But right there to flag it down with ease is Stella. For out number 2, back to first goes Trout. So Stella, who was positioned over in the left center gap, only had to take a couple of steps to his right to snag that Crewer fly ball. And now Christian Gomez, who went 0-for-2 with a walk and a strikeout in game 1 against Michael Passeri. See if Trout gets the green light here. With 2 outs. Mariners did not have a stolen base in game 1. And a check-in on Trout. He's back in there. Charles Callahan attempted to steal a base after getting the only Mariners hit of game 1, but with a moot point as Melton struck out during the stolen base attempt. First one coming to Gomez is outside corner for a strike, throw down, and Trout just got back on the back pick by Richard Lamping. So Mount St. Mary in the final game of the year, throwing the ball all around the bases We saw Passeri have pickoff attempts to first, second, and third in game one, and now Lamping gets in on the act with a back pick attempt. A one to Gomez, Trout stays put, and it's a Christian's back foot, low ball one. Charles Callahan hoping for a turn on deck. Here in the first inning, Mariners had 2 on in the first in game one, didn't score. Had 2 on in the third in game one and didn't score, and that was pretty much all the chances they had against Michael Passeri. The 1-1, Trout's on the move. Gomez swings away and hits a bullet right to third, and Harrison makes the catch to end the inning. Mariners hit into more bad luck as Gomez hit the tar of that ball. Just happened to hit it right to where Gregory Harrison was guarding the line at third base. An L5 brings us to a close. Inning number 1 in the inning for Kings Point. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Through 1 in game 2, we are scoreless on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network. We go to the second inning here at Bartizak Field in game 2. Scoreless between the Knights and the Mariners. George Whitbread, Frank Rampin back with you. And Frank and I were talking about it off air in between innings. Mariners have hit 3 balls hard in this doubleheader, and it's turned into 4 outs. That's the type of funk offensively the Mariners are in right now. Remember in game 1, they had the bullet hit by Jason Brown that was caught at second by Christian Pariza. They had the bullet back to the mound by Trout, glaze off the glove of Passeri that turned into a 1-4-6-3. Now the bullet by Gomez turned into an L5 to Gregory Harrison at third.
And the other deep flyout by Gomez to left. That was hit pretty well.
That hung up in the air for Aiden Marshall in left field. 0-2 from Lippert, misses away. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Aiden Marshall, who extended his hitting streak to 9 games in game 1 with a couple of hits, including a double, and he scored the game-winning run in the 3-0 Knights victory, and that one up high. 2-2. It'll be Marshall, Morgan, and Volk. 4, 5, and 6 for Mount St. Mary against Eddie Lippert here in the top of the second inning. 2-2 to Marshall, is driven out to center field. Preckle going back toward the wall, and that ball is off the fence, and it kicks away from Preckle. Marshall has his wheels turned on at third base, gets the stop sign from Trevor Purcell in his final collegiate game. Aiden Marshall gives one a ride off the wall in left center for a leadoff triple here in the second. Marshall just missed a home run to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark, but he settles for his 4th triple of the year.
Aiden Marshall's been smoking baseballs all over the yard today.
He extends his hitting streak to 10 games. As talk about smoking baseballs, Caleb Morgan smokes one foul down the left field line 0-1. So that has to feel good for Aiden Marshall. He'll end his collegiate career here at Mount St. Mary on a 10-game hitting streak. with a triple leading off in the second. Now the 0-1 to Morgan is up high. 1 ball, 1 strike. And we mentioned it briefly in game 1, Frank. Mariners have given up the first run of the game in 7 of the last 8 games. And in danger of making it 8 of the last 9 here in the top of the second. 1-1 to Morgan is bounced to the left side. Trout makes the play. The long throw is not in time. And now breaking for the play is Marshall. He scores. A very interesting sequence, to say the least. I'm not sure why Marshall didn't go right away once that ball got past Fulton at third. But then after Trout bounced the throw over to first, Marshall made a very late break for the plate. And it turns into an RBI single for Caleb Morgan. And the Knights draw first blood once again.
Yeah, I thought Marshall was thinking that ball was going to get made over there by Fulton at third. But it got by him, and I thought it was going to be a break for the Mariners when he stayed at third.
That ball took Trout so deep into the hole at shortstop. I thought for sure once that got past Fulton, Marshall would have been able to score easily. But he held up as that's chopped in front of the plate. Lippert's only play is to first, and his throw wide. And Davis has to make an acrobatic slide step for the first out. Up to second moves Morgan as Volk, a swinging bunt,
Gregory Harrison.
puts Morgan in scoring position with 1 out. As the Knights look to add on. And this is the type of funk the Mariners are in. 2-6 in their last 8 games. Knights get a base hit on a ball that don't hit all that hard to shortstop after Gomez smoked one to end the first inning that was caught by Harrison, as that's down low to Gregory Harrison.
And that's, again, 2 games in a row. Aiden Marshall getting the scoring started with an extra base hit, then coming around to score on a single.
A leadoff extra base hit for the second straight game for Aiden Marshall to start an inning. Now Harrison swings away on the 1-0, drives it out to center. Preckle is there. Tagging at second is Morgan. Preckle dropped the ball on the transfer, so the out counts and Axel gets the throw in. And Morgan stays put at second base.
Now batting number 10, Richard Lamping.
And it's little plays like that where you just start to wonder how much of this may be starting to become mental for Merchant Marine. First, the bullet by Gomez that 9 out of 10 times you hit a ball that hard, it's a hit. Then you have the late throw by Davis on the scamper home by Marshall, as that misses ball 1. And then Preckle dropping the throw in the transfer. Mariners will be in the playoffs starting next week, but against playoff competition, those little mistakes will be magnified. Mariners still close out the regular season on the road tomorrow against Manhattanville, another playoff team, as that swung and fouled at the plate by Lamping. 1 ball, 1 strike.
At least there was no advance to third there on the missed exchange by Preckle, so no harm, no foul on that one.
Preckle, a good heads-up play to pick up that ball quickly and chuck it into Fulton at third. No reason really for Morgan to go. You never want to make the last out at third base. Preckle has a good arm out there in center. The 1-1 to Lamping is pop foul down the right field line. And we'll watch it sail out of play. 1-2. If Lamping can extend the inning, Anthony Voss, who we saw come in for the ejected Christian Pariza in game 1, looking for his first turn at bat, hoping it'll come with 2 outs here in the second. Lippert hoping it'll come leading off the third, as that one sails up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Knights have scratched out a run here in the second on 2 hits, a triple by Marshall and an infield hit by Caleb Morgan, who's at second with 2 outs. 2-2 from Lippert to Lamping is below the knees. Gomez tried to bring it back up in the zone and didn't get the call from Rich Capitelli. Full count. Second full count for Lippert in the first inning and 2/3. Payoff pitch from Lippert to Lamping is swung and fouled back. Lamping was on top of that ball and fouled it so hard off the bricks it came right back to Christian Gomez. As we are approaching dusk hours here in Kings Point, the lights have come on here at Bartizak Field. Mariners hoping their lights on offense will come on the bottom inning, but first Lamping rolls one through the hole, a base hit. Morgan gets the stop sign at third as Vasquez charged that ball wonderfully and threw in. And the theme continues. Mount St. Mary not hitting the ball hard, but hitting him in the right spot and getting base hits.
Number 55, Anthony Voss.
It's the third hit of the inning. And Braden Vasquez, a huge play to charge that ball and holds Caleb Morgan at third base. Now Anthony Voss, who we did not see in game one at the plate, only saw him in the field for defense, takes his first at bat of this doubleheader, hitting .320 on the year in 25 at bats. He's 8 for 25. And he watches the first pitch breaking ball land for a strike, 0-1. No homers, 5 driven in for Voss this year. He's got an on-base percentage of .400. In large part thanks to walking twice. Trying to pick up Morgan from third. The 0-1 is dropped by Gomez, and breaking to the plate is Morgan to make it 2-0. A straight-up whiff by Christian Gomez on a pitch that was a few inches off the outside corner, and it turns into a pass ball and a free run for the Knights, who now lead 2-0. And as we said a couple of minutes ago, Frank, you wonder at what point this starts to become mental. That is baseball 101. You have to keep your eye on the ball if you're Christian Gomez, who whiffed it and it goes to the backstop. Now the 1-1 to Voss is waved at and missed, 1-2.
He called it a strike. No, oh no, there's 1-2. Sorry, excuse me. I thought that said 0-2 up there.
The pitch that Gomez missed was a ball. So now Lippert ahead of Voss, 1-2, who flicks one back to the screen foul. 1-2 strikes. So Gomez, a very inopportune time for a passed ball for Christian. That is pass ball number 4 this year, and it comes at a very bad time to make the Mount St. Mary lead 2-0 in inning number 2 of game number 2. Another 1-2 from Lippert to Voss. They swung on and missed. He blows him away with a high fastball to retire the side, but not before. The Knights chase across 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 1 left. Through 1.5, it's the Knights 2 and the Mariners nothing on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network.
Now batting for the Mariners, number 3, Charles Callahan.
We go to the bottom of the second here at Bartizak Field. Mariners, for the second straight game, find themselves trailing 2-0. Charles Callahan, the senior captain, leads it off against Peter Papalardo. Callahan, who was the only Mariner to get a hit in game 1 with his 4th inning single against Michael Passeri, leads off here in the second. It's a 2-0 lead and an RBI single by Caleb Morgan, then a pass ball by Christian Gomez, allowing Morgan to score. And Callahan takes low for ball one. Mariners need to simplify the game and take this one at bat, one pitch at a time. Team that's 2-6 in its last 8 games, struggling to find their footing on offense as Callahan bangs one up the middle for a base hit. So Charles has his second hit of the doubleheader, and the Mariners have the leadoff man on to start the second, and the tying run coming up in the form of Jason Brown. So Callahan goes right back up the box. Now has a mini 2-game hitting streak with hits in both games of the doubleheader today. Now Jason Brown trying to keep the line moving. First one from Papalardo, a breaking ball bends in for a strike, 0-1. And Mike Notebaert made sure to make his team aware Peter Papalardo loves his big looping curveball from the left side. We just saw it there. This Mount St. Mary team, who has had troubles with walks all year, not been the story here today, as Brown fouls one back to the bricks. It's 0-2. Short lead for Callahan at first against a Mount St. Mary team that had a devil of a time of it this year, holding runners on. Mariners no stolen bases in game one. 0-2 from Papalardo to Brown is down and in. Brown has to jump back. 1 ball, 2 strikes behind Brown. Davis, Preckle. And if it goes further than that, the number 9 hitter, Davin Fulton, as Merchant Marine looks to score for the first time all afternoon and evening. After being shut out over the first 8 innings of this doubleheader. 1-2 to Brown, is driven into right field. Anderson plays a hot base hit. Callahan stops at second. So Merchant Marine, who had 1 hit all of game 1, has 3 hits here in the first 6 batters of game 2. Back-to-back singles for Callahan and Brown. And now Drew Davis, who we saw pitch hit at the end of game 1, and he popped up to second to end the ball game to Anthony Voss. See if Mike Notebaert wants to put a bunt on here. He does, and Davis gets down a beauty. Papalardo's only play is to first. Look out, and out at first base. It's a 1-4 sacrifice. As they say, Davis did not beat Voss to the bag. However, the tying run's now in scoring position on the second sacrifice of the year for Drew Davis. That goes 1-4.
Voss had a long way to go there. He was deep up the middle there playing second base. Not sure what the positioning was there. Almost cost him.
Mariners will try to take advantage of the perfect bunt laid down by Davis. Now Axel Preckle, his first at bat of the doubleheader, is swung on, driven out to right field. It hangs up for Anderson, who makes the catch. His throw comes into first, and coming in to score the first run of the doubleheader for Merchant Marine is Charles Callahan. Get him on, get him over, get him in. A sac fly for Preckle to make it 2-1. Moving up to third with the tying run is Jason Brown. So for Preckle, the RBI is his 13th of the year. And the Mariners are on the board here in game 2. Now Davin Fulton will try to tie up the game with Brown off third and 2 out. First one to him, and Davin goes the other way, sliding his Voss. He knocks it down. His throw is in time. Anthony Voss, a run-saving play, sliding to his left to take away an RBI base hit from Davin Fulton and keep Mount St. Mary in the lead 2-1 as we go to the third here in game 2. For Merchant Marine in the inning, they break through with a run and 2 hits. No errors, 1 left. Through 2 in game 2, it's 2-1 Mount St. Mary on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network. They play AC/DC's TNT as we go to the third inning here at Bartizak Field.
Axel Martinez.
That bottom of the second could have blown up like TNT on Peter Papalardo if not for the defense by Anthony Voss to keep Mount St. Mary in the lead 2-1 as we go to the third. And now Axel Martinez, his second plate appearance of game 2, takes the strike 0-1. Martinez flied out his first time up against Eddie Lippert, who's looking for the big shutdown inning after his team got him a run back with the Preckle sac fly in the second of Martinez. A very late and a very ugly swing. It's 0-2. I just feel like the Mariners need a 0 in the worst way here after scoring their first run of the doubleheader over 9 innings. The 0-2 from Lippert to Martinez is off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It'll be Martinez, Stella, and Anderson. 1, 2, and 3 in the Mount St. Mary order here in the third. Infield, outfield, straight up for Kings Point. 1-2 is waved out and missed. Strike 3. Lippert sits down Axel Martinez. And for Eddie, that is his second straight strikeout.
Justin Stella.
Going back to the second inning when he fanned Voss to retire the side. Now Justin Stella, who flew out to Axel Preckle, his opposite number, in center field his first time up. So Lippert settling in. A wave and a miss from Stella. It's 0-1. And Frank, we've talked about it all season long. Mike Notebart hates it when his team gives away free 90s. A free 90 right now, a difference in the game. The 2-1 score on the pass ball in the top of the second by Gomez. As Stella takes it low, 1-1. Mount St. Mary, they haven't hit the ball hard against Eddie Lippert with the exception of the Aiden Marshall triple. They made him count as Stella watches one just off the plate. 2-1.
George, obviously free 90s are never a good thing, as Coach Notebart often points out. But the most important free 90 to give up is that one from third to home, and that's what happened.
The Knights catch 2 runs in the inning, and Stella takes a strike. 2-2. Lippert. Oh, we didn't call it a strike.
What? Up? That was not up.
It looked like,
If anything, that was inside.
Rich Capitelli looked like he was about to raise the arm for strike 2, but then you saw Eddie Lippert jump high in the sky, amazed it wasn't a strike. Good news for Eddie is it's a lazy fly ball out to right. It's a moot point as Callahan catches Stella's fly ball for out number 2. So we've seen some weird ones with the umpiring crew today. We saw Jeremy Binks have the Christian Pariza situation where Pariza got called out for being in the throwing lane of Travis Campbell in the first game. And now we have Eddie Lippert give a little hop after not being given a strike call from Rich Capitelli. As that's fouled back by Anderson. 0-1.
And from my humble viewpoint up here in the booth, I think I'd take the side of the players on both of those. Not to be a biased former player myself, but just calling it like I've seen it, George.
Well, the 0-1 from Lippert is waved out and misses. He continues to dial up that breaking ball here in the third inning. Mariners only have 2 1-2-3 innings in this doubleheader. They were both in the first innings of Game 1 and Game 2. And Lippert looking for his second 1-2-3 inning in his first 3 innings. And Anderson watches one down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Got to stay locked in if you're Lippert out there. I know he's a little frustrated with those calls, but 2 outs here, 2 strikes, got to finish him off. Put up a 0.
With Aiden Marshall, who's been torching the Mariners all day with 3 hits, waiting on deck.
Don't want to see him.
1-2. Anderson, a late emergency swing, fouls it away down the right field line to hang in there. Marshall needs a home run for the combined cycle between games in the doubleheader after doubling and singling in Game 1. Has a triple here in Game 2. 1-2 from Lippert again. Is waved out and missed. He blew him away with a high fastball. Noah Anderson goes down swinging. Lippert strikes out 2 in the inning and has his second 1-2-3 inning of the night. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. Through 2.5 in game 2, it's still Mount St. Mary 2 and Merchant Marine 1 on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network. Eddie Lippert gets the side 1-2-3 in the top of the inning, and now the Mariners come to bat in the bottom of the third, looking to at least tie, if not take the lead. They at the top of the order due up Braden Vasquez, Landon Trout, Luke Crewer against Peter Papalardo, and Braden chops the first pitch up the third baseline foul. It's 0-1. George Whitbread, Frank Rampin here with you. A good crowd on hand here tonight, both on the Mount St. Mary's side of the stands, down the third baseline, and the Merchant Marine cheering section down the first baseline. Some Friday night baseball for you here at Bartizak Field, as Vasquez takes over the outside corner, a strike. 0-2. A regular season home finale for Merchant Marine here in 2026. Trying to go out with a split, a doubleheader against Mount St. Mary. 0-2 from Papalardo to Vasquez is swung on and popped straight up onto the outfield grass. It's Voss, look out, the right fielder Anderson comes in, and it's Anderson who made the catch.
Now batting number 1, Landon Trout.
Well, we mentioned the importance of Little League 101 when Christian Gomez didn't keep his eye on the ball for the pass ball. That's Little League 101 again,
Before you play the music.
as Voss and Anderson, almost a disastrous miscommunication, and Anderson able to reel it in with nobody getting hurt, fortunately. And Trout takes the strike. It's 0-1. He almost had a nasty collision there with Anderson almost hitting Voss from behind. But Anderson able to reel it in. No blood, no foul, and Trout watches a breaking ball that was held by an extra beat for Lamping. Not sure where it missed, but it missed. 1-1. Mariners do not have a run-scoring hit in this game, or in this doubleheader, I should say. Only run produced was a sac fly by Preckle last inning, as Trout takes one down and away from Papalardo. 2 balls and a strike. Peter Papalardo is at 32 pitches over the first 2 1/3. Mount St. Mary has their full bullpen, with no games to worry about after this one, especially since not having to use the bullpen in game 1. As Trout rolls one up the first baseline foul, and under the bare hand of Edwin Rodriguez toward the Mariners dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Both teams 3 hits, but Mount St. Mary ahead in the runs department, 2-1. As the 2-2 pitch to Trout from Papalardo is driven in the air to center field. Stella coming on, he dives, and he makes the catch. A splendid full speed ahead diving catch by Justin Stella to take away a base hit from Landon Trout, who can't believe it. Trout thought that ball dropped in and raced all the way to second base. But instead, it's an L8 on the scorecard as Justin Stella, a remarkable diving catch for the second out.
What an awesome play out there in center field. Those ones hit right out here, the toughest ones. Great jump, great route, fully laid out, unbelievable play.
And on this turf field, the Bartizak field, that ball bounces in front of Stella, could easily bounce over his glove and behind him.
That's a risky play. That's a homer if he doesn't catch that ball.
And we saw Trout, who was already at second base by the time the play ended, could have been far along, much further than second, as Kruger flies one foul down the right field line. And how about the effort from Caleb Morgan going past the Mariners bullpen down the right field line to try and snag that long foul fly by Kruger. So Mount St. Mary leaving everything out there in the final game of their 2026 season. First, the incredible diving play by Stell, and then almost a remarkable over-the-shoulder grab by Morgan.
And both Stella and Morgan seniors, so potentially last game of their careers. So go out swinging, laying out, do everything you can to help the team.
Mount St. Mary trying to come into Bartizak Field and take two and put a major crimp in the Mariners' playoff seeding. 1-1 to Kruger, outside, 2 balls and a strike. Kruger has not had a fun doubleheader. He is 0 for 4. It's been balls in the air all day. He's also struck out once. He's flied out 3 times, struck out once. As he stops his swing on the ball in the dirt, it's 3-1. If Kruger can extend the inning, Christian Gomez, who would love to atone top hand, flying off the bat, it's 3-2.
Looked like a good change up there from Pappalardo. Just got Kruger out ahead there. Possibly thought that one was a four-seamer.
Kruger, as you said, Frank, just a bit out in front, as a lot of these Mariners hitters are right now. Kruger shortens up with 2 strikes. Payoff pitch from Pappalardo is chopped on the ground, slowly to short. Martinez across the diamond to retire the side. Mariners go 1-2-3, thanks to the stellar play by Justin Stella in center field to rob Landon Trout of a base hit with his diving catch. We head to the 4th in game 2, still 2-1 Knights on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network.
Now batting tonight, star 24, Aiden Marshall.
We go to the 4th inning here in game 2, 2-1 Knights over the Mariners. All the runs in this game coming in the 2nd inning. 2 for Mount St. Mary in the top of the 2nd, 1 for Merchant Marine in the bottom of the inning. Eddie Lippert back to work. He faces Aiden Marshall, who the Mariners can't seem to get out. And Marshall takes high ball 1. Marshall, a triple and a run scored his first time up after 3 for 4 in game 1. as a banger off the mound, it kicks to Trout, and it's picked by Davis for out number one. I suppose if you're going to get Aiden Marshall out, the only way you can get him out is a fortunate bounce off the top of the mound that turns a base hit into a 6-3 ground out. So Marshall's been retired for the second time in the doubleheader, and both times he's been retired, he has hit bullet ground balls to the left side of the infield that have turned into outs.
That was a nice pick by Trout. Short hopped him, able to field it cleanly, and a scoop over at first base by Davis.
As Morgan takes one right down the middle, 0-1. Caleb Morgan, who singled in Marshall with the first run of the game with an infield single his first time, also scored the run that is the difference in the game on the pass ball. Grounds one to Fulton here at third, across the diamond to throw on target. 2 ground balls, 2 outs for Eddie Lippert here in the top of the fourth.
Number 5, Steven Holt.
On just 4 pitches. Now Stephen Volk, who had a swinging bunt that turned into a comebacker his first time up, that advanced Morgan to second. Lippert looking for his third, 1-2-3 inning, and Volk flies one out to right field. Moving back is Callahan down to a knee to make the catch and retire the side. Eddie Lippert gets the Knights 1-2-3 on just 5 pitches in the top of the fourth. We get to the bottom of the fourth here at Bartizak Field, 2-1 Knights on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network.
Now batting for the Mariners, number 18, Christian Gomez.
We go to the bottom of the fourth here at Bartizak Field. Eddie Lippert appears to have settled in after his speed bump in the second inning where he surrendered 2 runs. Innings 1, 3, and 4, he's gotten the side in order each time. Peter Papalardo back to work against Christian Gomez. And his first pitch is strike, 0-1 on the 41st pitch of the night for Peter Papalardo. Gomez, who is looking to atone for his pass ball, which brought in Caleb Morgan with the play, is not in time. He bounced it over to first. A good pick by Morgan. It was almost a bumper cars collision at second base between Voss and Martinez. Knights fortunate to get 1 out on the 1-4 fielder's choice. Callahan safe at first, and now Jason Brown, who singled to right his first time up.
Yeah, that wasn't great communication by the middle infield for the Knights. Always got to know who's going to get the bag. They were confused there.
So Voss has had a couple of adventures communication-wise as Jason Brown flies the first pitch in right center field. Stella going over, he can't get it. It drops in for an extra base hit. Callahan cruises around third. He'll come in to score the tying run. Rumbling into third with a game-tying RBI triple is Jason Brown. The Mariners have pulled even at 2-2. So the hustle from Charles Callahan to beat the relay from Anthony Voss at second pays huge dividends as Jason Brown drives the first pitch from Peter Papalardo up the gap in right center for an RBI triple And the Mariners have pulled even 2-2 here in the fourth. If we end up having a game here on Wednesday night with the Mariners in a home game, remember that play by Charles Callahan to beat out that potential double play ball. As the first one to Drew Davis outside for ball one. And for Jason Brown, the triple is the first of his career. So congratulations to the freshman Jason Brown from Marlton, New Jersey. Davis trying to give the Mariners the first lead of the doubleheader. And he fouls back a fastball, 1-1.
Yeah, that was a great swing by Brown. Ripped into the right center field gap. No chance out there by, in center by, who is that? That's Stella out there. Huge swing for the Mariners, and that might be the one that gets their confidence back.
All three Mariners hitters so far in the fourth have hit the ball hard, as that's loaded Davis 2-1. Gomez the single to right. The comebacker by Callahan that was scorched that Papalardo body blocked and got an out of, and then the triple up the gap by Brown in right center.
And like I was saying, that could help Lippert, give him a little bit of ease that the offense is coming back.
2-1 to Davis, runs down and in, ball three. You have Axel Preckle on deck, who drove in the first Mariners run with a sac fly in the bottom of the second, hoping his fellow freshman Drew Davis can put the Mariners in the lead for the first time today. And Drew inside out down the right field line. It curls foul by the Kings Point bullpen, full counts. So Trevor Purcell playing the infield, the corners in, and the middle infielders halfway. The second baseman Voss is 3/4 of the way back at second, but now he takes a couple of steps in. Payoff pitch to Davis is an emergency swing, hit it off the knob of the bat to foul it back and stay alive.
Kind of interesting positioning, because like you said, halfway or kind of 3/4 by the middle infielders. You'd expect them all to be in right now.
The second baseman Voss noticeably further back than any of the other three infielders. On the payoff to Davis is laced in the left center field, a base hit. Jason Brown in to score the lead run. Drew Davis comes through with an RBI single. And for the first time today, Merchant Marine takes the lead. It's 3-2 here in the fourth. So Davis, who's had an excellent couple of at-bats here in game two, first the sacrifice bunt to set up the first Mariners run, and now a two-strike RBI single up the gap in left center to chase in Brown, and the Mariners have a lead with 2 homes so far here in the fourth. Now Axel Preckle takes it over the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Mariners have really gotten on top of the ball well here in the fourth inning, and every ball put in play has been well struck against Peter Papalardo. 0-1 to Preckle, fouls it back to the screen on the right side. 0-2 got jammed on that one. To Mike Notebart, who prefaced using the whole field, we have to take it one at bat at a time and have to focus on getting guys over and in. Other key phrase he used, timely hitting. There's some timely hitting by Drew Davis, as that's inside to Preckle. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mariners, who lacked the timely hit or pretty much any hit in game one, have scored 3 runs on 6 hits over 3 1/3 against Peter Papalardo. 1-2 to Preckle is punched foul toward the Knights dugout. They'll do it again on 1-2. And Papalardo's pitch count rising quickly here in the fourth. This will be his 57th pitch coming up.
A couple Knights start to move around in the bullpen down the left field line.
Another 1-2 coming to Preckle from Papalardo is downstairs. 2-2. Another key point to note here in game two. Mariners have not struck out so far. This is the 17th batter Papalardo has faced, after Passeri struck out 5 in game one. 2-2 to Preckle. Davis on the move, but Axel fouled it back. It stays 2-2.
Good jump over there at first by Davis. But Preckle with 2 strikes had to protect the plate.
Davis, who is sneaky with stolen bases, he's 4 for 5 this year. Tried to steal one there. Another 2-2 coming to Preckle, and with first to throw over is dug out of the dirt by Morgan. See how aggressive Davis wants to be after going on the last pitch and being checked in on there. Behind Davis, it's Davin Fulton, another freshman, the number 9 hitter. Another 2-2 from Papalardo is punch foul back to the screen. And we mentioned how the Mariners have been squaring balls up better here in the 4th inning, having longer at bats as well. Papalardo not really fooling anybody here in the 4th, as we saw many Mariners out in front over the first couple of innings. They're right on these breaking balls, able to foul them off here in the 4th.
And this is a great at bat by Preckle. A couple foul balls, worked this thing all the way from 0-2 to 2-2.
Another 2-2 to Preckle. Davis on the move. It's outside ball 3. Throw down by Lamping. A good one. And it ricochets off Davis into left center field, who now gets up, scampers toward third. The throw from Stella is late. It goes under the glove of Harrison.
And hit in the head with that ball.
Staying at third is Davis, appears to be shaken up. I think you're right, Frank. I think the throw from center field in Justin Stella came up and hit Drew Davis in the head on the way by.
I think it was the throw from the catcher to second that hit off his helmet and ricocheted into left center.
So a bit of pinball action here at Bartizak Field. After Lamping's throw pinballed off Davis's head into left center, able to have the wherewithal to scamper to third base. So it'll go as a stolen base for Davis to get to second, his 5th of the year. And then we'll wait to see how they score that pinball shot that allowed Davis to go to third.
I guess that would be an error on a throwing error on Lamping.
I would have to think, by the way, his throw was not on target. Now a huge pitch in this game. Trevor Purcell brings the infield in with Davis on third, 1 out, 2-strike pitch to Axel is fouled back, and they'll do it again.
Really good at bat by Axel here.
So Preckle, who did not start in game 1, has looked very impressive here in game 2. The sac fly is first time up, and now he's about to see a 10th pitch from Peter Papalardo, a chance for his 2nd straight sac fly. Another pitch is in there. Strike 3 called, a very delayed strike 3 call from Rich Capitelli, but Preckle gets frozen on the breaking ball, and he's unable to get Davis in with less than 2 out. And now the inning is left to Davin Fulton, who grounded out to second his first time up. He was robbed of an RBI hit by Anthony Voss, who slid to his left. So the infield can now back up for Mount St. Mary with 2 outs. And Fulton takes one at the knees, a strike, 0-1. It's now a huge at bat in this game. Peter Papalardo trying to swing some momentum back to the Knights after surrendering the lead, but trying to strand an insurance run on third. Fulton inside out on the right field line, falling fast. It stays inside the chalk for a base hit. Rolls out of play, so it'll be an RBI ground rule double for Davin Fulton. Davison to score. Mariners stretch their lead to 4-2.
Now batting number 23.
Excellent 2-out hitting by Davin Fulton. It's another opposite field hit here in the 4th. And Fulton, he didn't hit the ball hard, but he placed it perfectly, curled it fair inside the right field line, and it rolled out of play. It's an RBI ground rule double. 3rd run of the inning for Kings Point. And now back to the top of the order in Braden Vasquez, who takes low for ball 1. So the Mariners' lower part of the order coming up big here in game 2. The 6, 7, 8, and 9 hitters have driven in 3 of the 4 runs as Vasquez rolls one out to short. Right there is Martinez to make the throw on the money to retire the side, but not before. The Mariners offense crashes through the doors in the 4th inning. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 1 left. We go to the 5th in game 2. It's now the Mariners 4 and the Knights 2 on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network.
Number 15, Gregory Harrison.
Eddie Lippert staked to a 4-2 lead as he takes the mound here for the 5th inning. George Whitbread, Frank Rampin back here with you. Mariners 3 in the 4th to break through. And Lippert's first pitch to Gregory Harrison downstairs for ball 1. And we've talked about it all season, Frank. The shutdown inning after your team scores for you. Lippert already has 1 in the top of the 3rd after the Mariners got 1 back on the Preckle sac fly. Now pitching with a lead for the first time today. Can he put up a 0 here in the 5th and keep this 4-2 lead intact? 1-1. Harrison flies into right center field, moving over his Preckle. Has to play it on a hop. It's a base hit for Harrison. So Gregory Harrison, his first hit of game 2.
And Richard Lamping.
And his second time on base in the doubleheader after walking in game 1. Now Richard Lamping strides to the plate representing the tying run here in a 4-2 game. Lamping has been a thorn in the Mariners' side with 2 hits here in the doubleheader. Takes the first pitch upstairs for ball 1. Some looks around the Skyline Conference. St. Joe's, Long Island, they beat Mount St. Vincent 10-4 in their first game of the doubleheader with win number 15 in conference on the year. So that clinches the Mariners cannot host the Skyline tournament here in 2026. With the Mariners 3 games left, only 11 wins. The max they can get to is 14. We'll take a look at the other scores in a moment. Some other key action happening tomorrow on the final day of the regular season. The 1-1 to Lamping is popped straight up. Lippert comes down. The catcher Gomez calls and catches in foul territory for the first out.
Huge first out.
Lamping got jammed on the foul fly into foul territory of the catcher Gomez.
Now batting number 15.
So a rare occurrence. You will see the catcher recording out to his opposite number, the catcher Gomez, as Lamping hit that ball straight up, and Gomez made the catch right behind the left-hand batter's box. Now Anthony Voss, first a check-in on Harrison. He's back in there. On St. Mary, they don't run a ton. They're 46 of 53 in stolen bases this year, as that's a wave and a miss by Voss, strike 1.
I'll be honest, George, I'm surprised we didn't see a sac bunt attempt after the leadoff base runner. We saw it all game in game 1.
Had 3 sac bunts in game 1. For the record, folks, Harrison over at first is 4 for 4 in stolen bases this year. The 1-1 to Voss bounces in the dirt. A good block by Melton.
They had
by Gomez, excuse me.
3 successful sac bunts, and they tried 5.
Remember, they had a few bunts that were fouled off as well. Voss in a 1-1 count. Mariners looking for a double play against the speedy Anthony Voss. On the move, they would have had the double play as the throw by Fulton on target to get Voss with the runner Harrison in motion that saved an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play. So simply 5-3 on the scorecard.
Martinez.
Now Axel Martinez try and pull the Knights a little bit closer. That ball was hit so hard to third. Even with Voss's speed, Mariners would have had a good chance to turn an inning-ending double play and get back in the dugout. And for the record, folks, game 2 out in Patchogue, St. Joe's, Long Island is clobbering Mount St. Vincent 13-2. So it looks like St. Joe's will finish their regular season 16-4 in conference and be in the driver's seat to host the Skyline tournament out in Patchogue. After the tournament took a 1-year visit to Kings Point last year. As that is hit toward third, Fulton has to go off his glove and trickle into short left field. Racing around third, scoring easily is Harrison, and in at second with an RBI double is Axel Martinez. And the Knights get one back and now trail 4-3. So we saw the little things make a big difference in the last half inning where Callahan beat out the double play ball that led to the 3-run inning, and now here in the 5th, by putting Harrison in motion, it prevents the double play, and with the extra out, Martinez takes advantage with the RBI double to get the Knights back within 1. And now a chance for Justin Stella to tie the game. He takes ball 1 for Martinez. It's his 28th RBI of the year. He is second on the Knights in runs batted in this season, behind Caleb Morgan. 1-0 to Stella. Just, and I mean just, missed the outside corner. 2-0. You have Noah Anderson waiting on deck. And Aiden Marshall looming 2 batters away. 2-0 from Lippert. That one catches the outside corner. 2-1. So Eddie Lippert unable to put up the big 0 after his offense got him 3 runs and a 4-2 lead. Mount St. Mary in a position, a chance to tie the game with a 2-out hit from their center fielder. As Stella tries to go the other way and fouls it back, it's 2-2. There is some standing around and light throwing in the Mariners bullpen. Eddie Lippert 4 2/3 deep so far. Trying to navigate his way through the weeds here in the 5th inning and limit the damage to just 1 run. 2-2 Stella is in there. Strike 3 called. He froze him on the outside corner. Eddie Lippert comes through with a big strikeout of Justin Stella to keep the Mariners in the lead as we hit the halfway point here in Game 2. Strikeout number 4 for Lippert. It's 4-3 Merchant Marine as we hit to the bottom of the 5th. For Mount St. Mary in the inning, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network. We go to the bottom of the 5th here at Bartizak Field. Peter Papalardo in his final career appearance, 4 innings into the outing, back out there for the 5th. Faces 2, 3, 4 in the order. Trout, Kruger, and Gomez with the Mariners leading 4-3. And Trout takes a strike 0-1. That is the 66th pitch of the evening for Peter Papalardo. Has struck out 1, walked none. Mariners did their damage with a 3-run 4th, and Landon Trout, like a champ, as he has done all year, takes one right in the back. 20th time Landon Trout has been hit by a pitch this season. He has now been hit in both games of the doubleheader. That's always what I do. So Trout, who was hit 25 times last year, hits the 20 mark once again in the 3rd to last game of the regular season. Now Kruger, who's had a rough doubleheader, 0 for 5, and he gets a tailor-made double play ball to short. Martinez the second for 1. The relay by Voss in time. 6-4-3 double play, and just like that, 2 out, nobody on. As Kruger's struggles continue, he is now 5 for his last 33 and 0 for 6 in today's doubleheader.
George, who is our friend that's leading the world in hit by pitches?
I have to get an updated count. As I remember, the number was 36 last I looked. We'll get to that at the top of the sixth inning. As Gomez rolls the first pitch out to Voss, and Anthony Voss says, not so fast.
He wants to hear the stat.
As he bobbles the routine grounder by Gomez.
Now batting number 3, Charles.
We'll see if we can squeeze the stat in here. That's an error on Voss.
And Voss wants you to tell him the stat, George.
If I can get to it quickly enough. As long as Charles Callahan cooperates, we have to check the NCAA website for the most up-to-date numbers. Remember, folks, this is our first broadcast since April 19th. As Callahan takes it low for ball 1.
Yeah, a lot of games have happened since then.
And I'm happy to report our leader, Zach Stearns, who was at 36 when we last talked to you, is still leading the country with 37 hit-by pitches for Montclair State.
Oh, what's going on? Nobody's hitting him.
They slowed down. As the 1-0 to Callahan is chopped on the ground. Another chance for Martinez. He bobbles it, recovers on the bare hand, but no throw. Back-to-back errors by the Mount St. Mary middle infield that would have sent Peter Papalardo back to the dugout. First an E4 on the ball hit by Gomez to Voss, and now an E6 by Martinez on the ball hit by Callahan. And the door has been left wide open for Merchant Marine to answer back here in the 5th.
I'm sure Papalardo thought he got bailed out after that double play by Kruger after the hit by pitch, but now 2 on with 2 outs.
And now Jason Brown, who you can argue has the biggest hit in this game, with his game-tying RBI triple his last time up, scored the go-ahead run on Davis's base hit. And Mike Nodebar, who talks about free 90s, Mariners have been given a free 180 here. As Brown on the 1-0, it's soft tapper in front of the plate. Papalardo throw to first is in time to get Brown and retire the side. Mariners threaten but do not score with that double play sandwiched in between in the inning. No runs, no hits, 2 left on 2 errors. At the end of 5, it's still the Mariners 4 and the Knights 3 on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network. Eddie Lippard's day is done after 5 innings as the Game 2 starter. Lippard's final line, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts. He gives away to the freshman, the left-hander Levi Reel, number 22, out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Noah Anderson leads off the 6th. and takes outside for ball one. So Lippert, in what could be his final career appearance at Bartizak Field for the senior, number 20, faced exactly 20 hitters and is in line for the victory if the bullpen can hold the lead. Anderson, it's a roller out to second. On the backhand, Brown. Fields fires, one out. So a quick out recorded by Levi Reel on the roller to second.
Batting number 24, Aiden Marshall.
We'll give you a look at Levi's numbers, coming in with a 3.5 ERA now, 18 1/3 innings pitched, an 0-0 record for Levi, 19 hits, 7 runs, all earned, 13 walks, 9 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .292 against Levi.
You got to be careful here.
Aiden Marshall, who has been dangerous all day, tying run at the plate in a 4-3 game, takes low for ball one. Marshall, after going 3 for 4 in game one, is 1 for 2 here in game two. Grounded out his last time up only because the ball hit the mound and deflected to Trout instead of going into center field. And Levi, even in the count here, 1-1.
Maybe that'll cool him down. That's always a deflating feeling as a hitter. You smoke one, hits the wrong part of the mound, ends up in and out.
1-1 to Marshall from Reel, is ripped out and missed. A fastball right by him. It's 1-2. So Reel went to the heat and beat Aiden Marshall. 1-2 from Reel to Marshall. Levi working quickly. 1-2. Marshall holds his swing. It's 2-2.
Good idea there from Levi. Chased the high fastball on the last one, took a big cut, tried to go right back to it, almost got him to bite.
Aiden Marshall is a tough man to strike out. Only struck out 24 times this year, make it 25 as he chases a ball in the dirt, strike 3. As number 24 strikes out for a 25th time, pleading that he foul-tipped the ball. And Marshall walks away, shaking his head. Marshall taps his helmet as almost he wants to challenge, and he's refusing to leave the batter's box. Now the umpires, Rich Capitelli,
Are you serious?
and they called a foul ball.
What? You can't see that.
Rich Capitelli and Jeremy Binks had a get-together, and they say Marshall foul-tipped it.
That's unbelievable. He's 110 feet away. There's no way he could see if that ball hit the ground or not.
There's no, I can't see how there was a distinct view there to overturn it.
You can't even see that on the video.
2-2, and that one is off the plate, ball 3. So take the strikeout away from Marshall. There's only 1 out in the inning. Now a big payoff pitch coming to Aiden Marshall. Is swung on and missed. That one he did not foul tip, and that is strike 3. So karma came and got Aiden Marshall
Batting number 17,
as he goes down swinging, and there's his 25th strikeout of the year for number 24, which gives me the perfect opportunity to ask you, Frank, do you know what's funnier than 24?
25.
You are very right, as our friends SpongeBob and Patrick would say.
Mrs. Puff didn't like that one.
Mrs. Puff was not a fan. What I will say, though, is Mrs. Puff, who loves her driving, has to have loved the way Jason Brown drove the ball the other way to tie the game in the 4th inning.
Teach that one at the boating school.
I'm sure it is on the list, as that is in for a strike. From Reel, it's 0-2, who's looking to retire the side in order here in the 6th. He got Anderson on a 4-3 ground out. He struck out Marshall. Now he's ahead of Morgan, 0-2. Levi's delivery is off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mariners pitching 5 strikeouts over 5 2/3 here in game 2, protecting a skinny 4-3 lead. 1-2 from Reel to Morgan is inside and low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. If Morgan can extend the inning, Stephen Volk would be next. 2-2 from Levi. Is hit on the ground toward third. That's a fair ball. Fulton sliding into foul territory. Gets up, throws in time. Davin Fulton hang a star on that one. Sliding into foul ground. Throws a two-hopper over to first. And Jeremy Binks calls Caleb Morgan out at first. The Mariners dash off the field. We'll see if we get another umpire review. Mount St. Mary can't believe it. Davin Fulton, an unbelievable defensive play, Manny Machado-esque, sliding into foul ground and throwing off balance to get Caleb Morgan, who is still beside himself as he takes his position at first base as we go to the bottom of the sixth. In very unconventional and tempersome fashion, the Knights go in order 1, 2, 3. We'll be back in a moment on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network. Well, Caleb Morgan has not stopped talking to Jeremy Banks after that close. Not a double. And even as we go to the bottom of the sixth, 1-2, lays off the pitch in the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mr. Papalardo, folks, still has kept his pitch count down. He's right around 80 with 1 out here in the sixth. In his final career appearance, the senior from Hawaii, the 2-2 to Fulton, is fouled straight back. Davin right on top of it. Papalardo's only struck out 1 today. It was Preckle back in the 4th.
Usually when you see a Hawaiian wearing a large number like this, maybe it's the 50 for the 50th state, like a Bene Agbayati for the Mets back in the day.
Of course, the Mets with 2 players in their franchise history to wear number 50, Bene Agbayani and Sid Fernandez. Both were from Hawaii, because Hawaii is the, you guessed it, 50th state. Can't remember the last Mariner to wear the big 5-0. As another 2-0 from Papalardo. That one missed somewhere, ball 3. Not sure where that one missed over the inside edge, but Fulton will take it, literally and figuratively, to run the count full 3-2. Behind Fulton to the top of the order will go with Braden Vasquez, with Davis off second and 1 out. Payoff pitch, popped up right side. Morgan toward the dugout, hoping for a play, and he's got it for out number 2, a step onto the warning track. So Fulton fouls out. And a big insurance run remains in scoring position with 2 out for Braden Vasquez, who's had a very quiet doubleheader. 2 fly balls to right here in game 2 after 2 fly balls to right in game 1 with a walk. So officially 0 for 4 with 4 flyouts to right and a walk here in the doubleheader. And he hits this one to center field. Going back is Stella to reel it in to end the inning. Mariners get the leadoff man on, but strand him at second base. And Peter Papalardo, 6 innings through. The Mariners lead 4-3 on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network.
Knights, number 5, Stephen Volk.
Third Mariners pitcher of game 2 is the sophomore right-hander, number 14 from Copley, Pennsylvania, Lewis Sarah. So Levi reeled done after just one inning, 1-2-3 with a strikeout. And in Sarah's first pitch to Stephen Volk, in for a strike, 0-1. And Sarah on the year has been very good, a 2.86 ERA, now his 17th appearance in 22 innings, as he misses inside 1-1. 23 hits, 8 runs, 7 of them earned, 10 walks, 11 strikeouts, opponents hitting .274 against Lewis, with the walks being the only blemish, as Lewis 0-3 on the year. A wave and a miss by Volk there. 1-2. It'll be Volk, Harrison, and Lamping as the Knights try to scratch back down 4-3 here in the 7th. 1-2. Just missed the outside corner, perhaps a bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, tough one to catch there from Gomez. Might have took the outside corner, but a tough one to get the arm underneath. That's always one that hurts the thumbs of the catchers.
2-2 from Lewis. That one up and in tight, full count. Knights 3 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors. Mariners 4 runs on the magic number 8 hits. And no errors were here in the 7th. Big payoff pitch coming from Insera, and it's waved at and missed, strike 3. As that running fastball from Insera had Volk flailing, might have been out of the zone for ball 4, but Volk went after it. Now Gregory Harrison got a base hit his last time up, 1 for 2. Of course, we always talk about the Mariners' magic number, folks. When they get to 8 hits, the golden number. They're 16-4 this year with 8+ hits. When they don't get 8 hits, they're 3-8. Make it 3-9 after the loss in game 1, where they only had 1. And Harrison down the count here, 0-1. Wonder how Mike Notebart wants to work the bullpen over these last 2 2/3 innings. Of course, with 2 more big games tomorrow. 0-1 from Insera is chopped on the ground toward third, a foul ball. 0-2, and with the loss in game 1, by the way it's shaking out, looks like the Mariners will need to win this game and sweep Manhattanville tomorrow to try and get themselves a home game here on Wednesday night. 0-2 from Insera to Harrison is up above the letters for ball 1. Checking elsewhere in the conference, Farmingdale, after beating Purchase in the first game of their doubleheader, is leading the Panthers 2-1 in the top of the 9th. Up in Purchase, that's not good news for Merchant Marine. What is good news for Merchant Marine is that Sarah blows away Harrison for out number 2. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lewis and Sarah to begin the 7th. And now the inning left to Richard Lamping. That is the 7th strikeout for Mariners pitching over the first 6 2/3 here in game 2. Now Lamping, who takes one
Non-existent top of the strike zone here today, George.
out of the zone for ball 1. Lamping is 1 for 2 in game 2. He singled and fouled out to his fellow catcher Gomez, and I'm not sure where that one missed. It's 2-0. Wow. So these first 2 pitches from Insera to Lamping, Lewis has to feel like he's pitching to a tin can behind home plate. 2-0 coming to Lamping is swung on in line foul to the right side, 2-1.
Great job by Lewis just to go right back in there and dial up another strike after could have been 2.
Got Anthony Voss, the number 9 hitter on deck. 2-1 from Insera to Lamping. Is waved at a miss, came right. I'm going to get him with another fastball, and it's 2-2. So Insera, who took one of the losses on the road trip at St. Joe's, Long Island, looking to come out and strike out the side here in the top of the 7th. 2-2 to Lamping. And Lamping just got a piece of that one off the end of the bat to hang in there and stay alive.
Great job by Insera here in this top of the 7th, just coming right at these Knights hitters.
This Mount St. Mary team not going to light you up on the scoreboard by any means. Coming in, folks, Mount St. Mary, one of the 3 teams in the Skyline to hit under 300 as a team, as Lamping gets hit by the pitch. So Insera, who was pounding the strike zone with fastballs, loses control of a breaking ball there and drills Richard Lamping. And that puts the tying run on first with 2 out, and Anthony Voss coming up. For Insera, that is just the 3rd batter he has hit this year. And for Mr. Lamping, with the plunker, he is now at first and a strike to Voss. It's 0-1 Lamping. That is the 14th time he has been hit by a pitch that leads the Knights. 0-1 from Insera is a jam shot behind second, now breaking back in and making a diving catch at second remarkably to end the inning is Jason Brown. A bit of a changeup off the bat of Anthony Voss. Brown started back and then came in, saved his own bacon with a diving catch on the brownery of the infield to retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 left. Time to stretch here in game 2. It's still Merchant Marine 4, Mount St. Mary 3 on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network.
Now batting for the Mariners, number 1.
Peter Pappalardo, in his final career pitching appearance, stays on for the 7th inning. He has not recorded an out in the 7th inning this year. His long this year is 6 innings. He only made it through 7 innings once last year against Maritime. But stays on to try and keep this a 4-3 game, and for the 3rd time in the doubleheader, Landon Trout is hit by a pitch.
All right, here we go.
So Trout, who was hit once in game 1, is now hitting back-to-back plate appearances here in game 2, and a chance for Luke Crewer to open up this 4-3 lead. Crewer has had a tough doubleheader. Grounded into a double play his last time up. He's 0 for 6 in today's doubleheader. Trying to turn the page with 1 swing, and it's outside for ball 1. For the record, folks, that appearance by Pappalardo last year where he went 7 against Maritime, it's the longest outing of his career. Trying to at least match that here in the last appearance of his career as a senior. And a check-in on Trout. He's back in there.
And that had to be at home, right? No way that was at Maritime, right?
I will double-check the fine print in a moment for Mr. Pappalardo. After this 1-0 to Crewer, which is waved and missed. There's Crewer out in front of a breaking ball again. It's 1-1. Peter Pappalardo, the Hawaiian, trying to go out with a bang. His last career appearance has kept his team in the game. Down 4-3 in the 7th. 1 strike pitch to Crewer, check swing foul. That gives you an idea how out of sorts Luke Crewer is right now. Unable to commit to that pitch. For the record, that was at Maritime.
Wow.
The line for Papalardo in that game, 7 innings. He pulled quite a Houdini act. 7 innings, 11 hits, just 2 runs.
Wow.
3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Trout is now picked off. Morgan's throw down. Trout a dead duck as the tag applied successfully by Axel Martinez. So we talked about how Mount St. Mary has had a devil of a time with it holding runners on all year. And after all the throwovers, it finally pays off as Trout gets picked off first. And all of a sudden, 1 out, nobody on, and 1 and 2 to Luke Crewer. An out on the bases that will not make Mike Notabar happy as Crewer fouls it off to the right side to stay alive. It's a big insurance run out there. The Mariners just gave away as Trout gets picked off. I believe it was 1-3-6 on the scorecard. And Mr. Papalardo has done a good job keeping his pitch count down. This will be his 90th pitch of the night right here. And Crewer late again, fouls it off to the right side and stays alive.
I like that swing on an off-speed pitch better than the flailing out in front one.
He was on it, just that one off the end of the bat, it sounded like, down the right field line. Christian Gomez waiting on deck. 1-2 from Papalardo again. Nice hit in the air, deep to left field, right down the line, and that ball is a foul ball.
Coach Notabar is not happy about it. He's standing right on the line.
Rich Capitelli, the home plate umpire, took a few strides down the third base line and raised his arms and called it foul. And as you said, Frank, Mike Notabar not happy down at the third base coach's box. Oh, so close. But Rich Capitelli gives Peter Papalardo another life, and it's outside 2-2.
Man.
We've had a couple of close calls on both sides here in this game, and that one may turn out to have the biggest consequence. 2-2 to Crewer is swung on and missed, strike 3. So from potential home run to strikeout swinging, only the second strikeout for Peter Papalardo.
Number 18, Christian Gomez.
As Crewer goes down on strikes for the second time in the doubleheader, he's now 0 for 7 between the 2 games. And that has to be a yucky feeling for Luke Crewer, thinking he had his 13th home run of the year. Instead, he strikes out on a pitch in the dirt. As a strike to Gomez, 0-1. We'll try to take a look between innings to see if we could tell on the replay if that ball was fair or foul. Mike Notabar having a word with Trevor Purcell about it as Gomez toward the hole off the glove of Martinez and into left field, a base hit. So Christian Gomez, a good swing.
Now batting number 3, Charles.
Picks up his second hit of game 2. And now Charles Callahan, who's been on base twice with a base hit and reached on an error by Axel Martinez. As Peter Papalardo soldiers on, 96 pitches into this outing, there is action in the Mount St. Mary bullpen. As Callahan takes the first one for a strike, 0-1. Mount St. Mary nowhere to go but home after this game, so why not let the senior Peter Papalardo in his last career appearance let it all ride, everything he's got in that left arm. One final time, 0-1 to Callahan, his last foul down the right field line, 0-2. If Callahan can extend the inning, Jason Brown would be next, hoping to come up here in the bottom of the 7th. Mariners 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Knights 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors in the bottom of the 7th. 0-2 to Callahan is a little bit low and in the dirt, blocked by Lamping. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mariners bullpen, there is some throwing as well. Looks like it's the motion of Travis Campbell out there, if I am not deceived by my eyes. 1-2 to Callahan is swung on and foul tipped in the middle. Lamping, strike 3. Peter Papalardo comes up pumping his fist as he comes off the mound to end the 7th. Knights may have caught a huge break on the foul ball by Kruger, but we head to the 8th with the Mariners still leading by 1, 4-3 on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network. For the second time in today's doubleheader, we say hello to the sophomore from Alba, Texas, Travis Campbell. After Travis pitched an inning and 2/3 in game 1, surrendered a run on 3 hits, struck out 2, comes into a much more precarious situation here, trying to protect a 1-run lead here in the 8th inning. The game the Mariners, for all intents and purposes, need. They won a home playoff game, and his first pitch is up high for ball 1 to Axel Martinez. Martinez pulled the Knights within a run in the 5th with his RBI double off the glove of Davin Fulton at third. That trickled down the left field line. 1-0 to Martinez from Campbell is hit on the ground toward third. This one is a fair ball. Fulton throws on the run. Called it foul. He called it foul. And the funny part was the first base umpire, Jeremy Banks, called him out.
And these guys are all out of whack today.
So Rich Capitelli is having quite a last couple of minutes.
This is crazy.
And with how we had the Kruger fly ball called foul, and now this ball called foul, I think it's safe to say Mike Notebart will not be inviting Rich Capitelli into the clubhouse for a post-game slice of pizza.
And that one was only, 300 feet closer to him.
Well, in any event, it's 1-1 to Martinez, as Campbell has to saddle back up. And this one is fly down the right field line, and that one is most certainly foul, as it lands in the Merchant Marine bullpen, 1-2.
We should get some sensors so we know for sure, huh?
That just leads into the AI world. The sensors of fair and foul balls.
Well, we better be right, right?
That's true. Being right is more important than, that's why we have ABS in Major League Baseball. The 1-2 from Campbell to Martinez is punched foul. They'll do it again on 1-2.
And Travis just gets right back up there, continues to fire pitches in the strike zone.
Campbell will give you his updated numbers after his game 1 outing of an inning and 2/3. ERA up to 2.51 in 28 and 2/3 innings. Opponents now hitting .250 against him, but still no walks in those 28 2/3. 1-2, that's down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes will be Martinez, Stella, and Anderson for the Knights. Here in the top of the eighth. Very interesting, folks. I do not see any action in the Mount St. Mary bullpen. So Peter Papalardo, who's at 99 pitches through 7 innings, ties his career high for innings pitched in a game. Will we see him in the bottom of the eighth? As that one is swung on and fouled off by Martinez to hang in there.
We saw he was very fired up, very animated coming off the mound as he got that last out of the 7th.
Papalardo, this is the end of the line for him as a Mount St. Mary Knight. See how much leash Trevor Purcell wants to give him in a game that means nothing for Mount St. Mary in terms of the standings. 2-2 to Martinez, other foul ball. As there will be an 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up between Travis Campbell and Axel Martinez.
Looks like the bottom hand slipped off the bat for Axel Martinez on that swing. We had to use a little pine tar.
On the aluminum bat, no less. The 2-2 from Campbell to Martinez again.
Nice.
That one is swung on and missed for strike 3. So when all is said and done, it works out for Travis Campbell, who gets credit for his strikeout.
Number 2, Justin Stella.
And now Justin Stella. That is strikeout number 8 for Mariners pitching over the first 7 1/3. Now Justin Stella, who has been up twice, flied out twice, and struck out once, or it's been up 3 times, I apologize, and Stella flies this one foul down the right field side out of play. 0-1. So Campbell continuing to attack the strike zone against these Knights hitters. We have not seen a run in this game since the top of the 5th. Knights 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 5th, Mariners 1 in the 2nd, and 3 in the 4th, and that is it. A 4-3 game that the Mariners need to help boost their chances to be back here on Wednesday night for a first-round playoff game in what most likely would be the 4-5 game. 1-1 from Campbell to Stella is swung on a miss, blew a fastball right by him, 1-2. Travis Campbell not dwelling on the performance from game 1, knowing he has to protect this skinny 4-3 lead here in the 8th. 1-2 from Campbell to Stella. Just missed off the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We've gone fully black here at Bartizak Field at nighttime. Approaching 8:30 here at the Ray in the regular season home finale. They're trying to squeak out a split of the doubleheader. 2-2. That one pops straight up. Hold on to your hats as it sails over our heads. Perhaps a bit to the right. And it's 2-2. So long at bats for these Knights hitters against Travis Campbell here in the 8th. Campbell, after throwing 8 pitches to Martinez, this will be number 7 to Stella, and another foul ball down the right field side. So the Knights not going away easily against one of the Mariners' top relievers, Travis Campbell. Infield, outfield, straight up. 1-run game in the 8th inning. Fulton and Davis guarding the lines at the corners. No doubles defense. Another 2-2. Breaking ball drops in beautifully. Strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts for Travis Campbell to start the 8th.
3, Noah Anderson.
Now Noah Anderson. So after needing 8 pitches to strike out Martinez, Campbell strikes out Stella on 7 pitches. And now the last hope in the 8th for Mount St. Mary's, Noah Anderson, who's 0 for 4 with 3 groundouts and a strikeout. Mariners pitching now 9 strikeouts on the Knights in game 2. Anderson ahead in the count, 1-0. Mentioned the Knights don't have a run since the 5th inning. As Anderson, a comebacker, Campbell has to go off his glove. Trout ranges in, his throw is wide, and Anderson is safe. We'll wait to see how they score that one. A hot shot right back at Travis Campbell, who almost body blocked it, but it trickled past him out to Landon Shrouded short. And now the tying run is on first with 2 out. And what could be the last at bat of the career of Aiden Marshall. The senior from Poughkeepsie trying to make it a memorable one. And he takes the strike, 0-1. Marshall today has tortured the Mariners in the doubleheader with 4 hits. 2 singles, a double, and a triple. Has scored a couple of runs as well. 0-1 from Travis. Breaking ball strike, it's 0-2. So Campbell, for the 4th straight hitter, gets ahead quickly, trying to put this 8th inning to bed. They did credit an infield base hit to Noah Anderson. 0-2 from Campbell is swung on and missed. He pulled the string with a breaking ball. Campbell strikes out 3 in the inning and keeps Mount St. Mary off the board in the 8th. We head to the bottom of the 8th in Kings Point. Mariners lead it 4-3 on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network. In his last career pitching appearance, the senior Peter Papalardo, who has never thrown a pitch in the 8th inning in his career, will do so for the first time right here, right now to Jason Brown. And his 100th pitch of the night is inside for ball 1. 4-3 Mariners as we go to the bottom of the 8th here in Kings Point. For the record, folks, Peter Papalardo has 1 career complete game. And it came this year, a complete game loss, no less. Looking for a complete game, perhaps. The 2-0 to Brown catches the outside corner, 2-1. There is some light stirring in the Mount St. Mary bullpen. Papalardo trying to keep this game right where it is. He misses outside. 3 balls and a strike. For Merchant Marine in the inning, it'll be Brown, Davis, and Freckle trying to pick up some insurance. For Merchant Marine hands it off to their all-time saves leader, the senior Caden Pierce, as a leadoff walk to Jason Brown to start the 8th. That is the last thing in the world Peter Papalardo wanted to do. The walk for Papalardo is just the second he has issued. The other man he walked is the man coming to bat, Drew Davis. The third baseman, Harrison, in towards the greenery, perhaps expecting a bunt. Davis already has a sacrifice bunt today, looking for another, and he takes low ball 1. Brown off the bag, and Jason Brown, very fortunate, Lamping skipped that throw to first base. Brown caught leaning the wrong way, and very fortunate to get back in there safely. So 1-0 to Davis as Papalardo continues to struggle to find the strike zone here in the 8th inning. 1-0, Davis shows bunt, fouls it at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, Harrison charging very hard from third base. Mariners know the importance of this insurance run. At first, we haven't seen a run scored since the top of the 5th. For the record, folks, Papalardo's only career complete game was 6 innings and a 3-1 loss against Old Westbury earlier this year in a 7-inning game. Davis sets a swing, pitch taken for a ball, and the stolen base successful for Jason Brown.
Whoa, that was a late swing by Drew Davis.
Davis swung after that ball was caught by Lamping in an attempt, I believe, to distract Lamping on his throw to second base.
Looked like, I think, a hit and run, I guess, right? 1-2. And he didn't swing until way too late.
And that reminds me of a play because, of course, it does. So it's 1-2 to Davis. There was a play at PNC Park in Pittsburgh like 10 years ago or so. Pablo Sandoval, trying to protect his runner stealing second, swung and missed after the ball was in the catcher's mitts as Davis taps one foul behind the plate to stay alive. So good sportsmanship and teamsmanship there by Drew Davis to sacrifice a strike to help Jason Brown steal a huge base and getting to scoring position with no outs. Carrying a huge insurance run, Brown remains perfect, 3 for 3 in stolen bases this year. And Davis lines one towards short, picked off by Martinez. He dropped it on the transfer. And the out is confirmed by Jeremy Binks. It looked on the naked eye it was on the transfer. Mike Notebart doesn't think so, as he might be saying that Martinez never had control of that ball. As Coach Notebart unhappy once again.
That was a really weird play, George. That almost looked like it wasn't on the transfer. It looked like as he was trying to get himself up, he dropped the ball. I don't know what the ruling is on a play like that, to be honest, if it's not the transfer, if it's not the catch. He was trying to move his body, like push himself up with his arms.
That's where you have to look at the NFL rule book and say what's surviving the ground for a catch. So Martinez gets a huge break as the first one to Preckle is flied into short right field. Anderson there, he's got it for out number 2. Holding at second is Jason Brown. So the last 2 innings at the third base coach's box have not been too enjoyable for Mike Notebart. First with the Kruger ball that was deemed foul, and now this one that they said Martinez lost it on the transfer. And the inning is left in the hands of Davin Fulton, whose opposite field RBI double is the difference in the game now. The third of the last 3 runs for the Mariners in that 3-run fourth that he inside-outed down the right field line. Papalardo 7 2/3 deep. It's the longest he's ever gone as a collegiate athlete. First one of Fulton is downstairs for ball 1. For Peter Papalardo, that was pitch number 111 on the night. In his final career game, leaving it all out there. 1-0 to Fulton. Swallowing on it, missed. He got a breaking ball up to hit, and he missed it. It's 1-1. And Davin frustrated with himself after coming up empty on that one. Braden Vasquez waiting, hoping for a turn on deck. 1-1 from Papalardo. In tight, it gets past Lamping, and scampering to third is Jason Brown. I would imagine that is a wild pitch on Papalardo. But how big does that call at shortstop look now? Instead of second and third, 1 out, it's just a runner on third and 2 out. Fulton still needs a base hit to get the job done, unless Papalardo uncorks another one. 2-1 to Fulton. In the dirt, taken low, blocked by Lamping, 3-1. And if you're Trevor Purcell here, how long do you ride Peter Papalardo? sitting at 114 pitches, 7 2/3 deep, trailing 4-3. 3-1 to Fulton. Swung on and fouled straight back. He was on it. Just a little bit late, full count.
Yeah, good swing there by Davin. Just missed that one. Now action pitch here. 3-2, 2 outs. Big insurance run standing 90 feet away.
Papalardo has struck out 3 today. Fulton's put the ball in play all 3 times. He's 1 for 3. Payoff pitch from Papalardo to Fulton is inside out and down the right field line. It is a foul ball. Couldn't keep that one inside the chalk. And the count remains full. So the 2-strike approach for Davin Fulton remains clear. Use the yard and go the other way. That's how he made it 4-2 with his opposite field double in the 4th. Trying to pick up Brown from 3rd with a big insurance run here in the 8th. This is pitch number 116 coming up for Peter Papalardo to Davin Fulton. Here it is, and it's swung on and fouled back to the bricks. They'll do it again. So Fulton has had some remarkable at-bats here in game 2. Had the ground out his first time up where he was robbed of an RBI single. Had the RBI double his last time up. As he fights against Peter Papalardo, the senior Papalardo against the freshman Fulton. Another payoff pitch is taken in there. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. Strikeout number 4 for Peter Papalardo. And he keeps the Mariners off the board in the 8th. And it's a 4-3 game going to the 9th here at Bardazac Field. 8 innings, 118 pitches for Peter Papalardo, but so far it's not enough. Caden Pierce coming on for the save attempt when we come back on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network. The Mariners' all-time saves leader, the senior from Marietta, Georgia, Caden Pierce, with 22 saves in his career, 5 this year, comes on to try and close out the regular season home schedule with his 6th save of the year. Faces Caleb Morgan to lead it off, and it's in for a strike. 0-1. Mariners trying to squeak out with a doubleheader split against Mount St. Mary in their final home games of the regular season, and try to put themselves in position to go to Manhattanville tomorrow with a chance to lock up the number 4 seed with a couple of wins. That's a swing and a miss strike. 0-2. Pierce on the year, .63 ERA in 14 1/3 innings. 8 walks, 19 strikeouts, opponents hitting 173 against him. 0-2 to Morgan. Runs outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pierce in the 14 1/3, just 9 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. Pitched against Mount St. Vincent on Sunday, earned the save in game 1 in the extra inning affair, 4-1. 1-2 to Morgan from Pierce. Runs down in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It'll be Morgan, Volk, and Harrison, the 3 scheduled hitters for Mount St. Mary here in the 9th. Mariners, after getting 1 hit in game 1, hoping 4 runs is just enough here in game 2 as Morgan gets blown away. Strike 3. The high gas from Caden Pierce sits down Caleb Morgan. 1 out in the 9th. For Mariners pitching, folks, that is strikeout number 11 on the night. And now Stephen Volk will take his chances against Caden Pierce. First pitch sits high. 1-0. Mr. Volk today in game 2 is 0 for 3 after 2 big RBI singles in game 1. 1-0 from Pierce. Breaking ball. Bends in for a strike. 1-1. Caden Pierce not messing around in what he hopes is not his last career appearance here on the Bartizak Field mound. The 1-1 to Volk. Taken. Outside corner strike. 1-2. Volk frozen there on the outside edge as Pierce continues to pound the strike zone here in the 9th. 1-2 from Pierce to Volk. Swung on and missed. He got him on the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the 9th for Caden Pierce. And now the Knights are down to their final out. We have a pitch hitter for Mount St. Mary. It's number 4, Daniel Mack. Pitch hitting for Gregory Harrison. The last hope for Mount St. Mary in their 2026 season. The right-hand hitting Daniel Mack against Caden Pierce, the senior from Ramsey, New Jersey, in what could be his final at-bat. Swings off the middle, off the leg of Pierce, deflects out towards short. The throw by Trout is late. It's a base hit for Mack to keep the game alive. And Pierce immediately waves Lou Bernardi away. But Lou Bernardi dead set on going out to check on his closer, Caden Pierce, a comebacker that ricocheted off Pierce's ankle. Out to shortstop, and what could be his last at bat, Daniel Mack has himself a base hit. That was only Mack's 32nd at bat of the year. He came in 7 for 31, hitting .226. And the game extends to Richard Lamping, who has a base hit in this game. So the Knights not dead just yet. Tying run on first. Mack stays on to run for himself.
And that ball drilled Pierce. I know he's a tough guy, but I'm surprised he didn't take a warm-up pitch after that one.
And his first one is waved at and missed by Lamping, 0-1.
Maybe he doesn't need it.
He appears just fine as he gets ahead of Richard Lamping, who is 1 for 2 here in game 2. Caden Pierce, the senior, trying to save it for the senior Eddie Lippert. 0-1, high, 1 ball, 1 strike. So the senior captain, Caden Pierce, trying to save it for his fellow senior Eddie Lippert in their final regular season home game here at the Ray. The 1-1 from Pierce to Lamping. Swung on, pops straight up. Gomez behind the plate, hoping for a play, can't find it, and it lands untouched. It goes down as strike 2, but Christian Gomez, his second defensive miscue here in game 2. Remember, he had the pass ball earlier, and there a chance to slam the door and catch the foul. Pop, but it lands untouched right by the Owen Bartizak Field. But now Lamping and the Knights are down to their final strike. 1-2 from Pierce. Swung on and missed. He blew him away with the high fastball. And Caden Pierce slams the door in the 9th. And the Mariners get out of Dodge with a split of the doubleheader against Mount St. Mary with a 4-3 win here in game 2. Caden Pierce, his 6th save of the year, Spooler, the 23rd of his career, as the Mariners win their final regular season home game of 2026, as they beat Mount St. Mary 4-3. Mike Notebart said he wanted timely hitting coming into this doubleheader, and after getting shut out on one hit in game one, Mariners get just enough offense and just enough timely hitting, scratching out 4 runs in game two as they scrape by the Knights 4-3. The winning pitcher is Eddie Lippert as he moves to 3-1 on the year. Peter Pappalardo takes the tough complete game loss in his final career appearance, and Caden Pierce picks up his 6th save of the year. The loss for Pappalardo now drops him to 1-6. We'll be back with the rest of the final totals for you in a moment on the USMMA Mariners Sports Network as we pause for the alma mater here in Kings Point.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise for the playing of the alma mater of the United States Merchant Marine Academy.
George Whitbread, Frank Rampin back here with you at Bartizak Field. A sigh of relief for Mike Notebart and the Merchant Marine Academy Mariners. After getting one hit in game one by Michael Passeri, they bounce back and win by the skin of their teeth in game two, 4-3. The senior captain, Caden Pierce, in his final regular season home game, slams the door with his program-leading 23rd career save as the Mariners' offense that came in struggling does just enough to scratch out 4 runs on 9 hits. Davin Fulton, the game-winning RBI double. Mariners close out the home schedule with a win here and a split of the doubleheader, officially 11-5 as the home team here at Bartizak Field this year. This is a huge win, Frank, for this Mariners team headed up to Manhattanville tomorrow.
Yeah, game two of this doubleheader, much better than game one for the Mariners. The pitching was awesome. What was it, 13 strikeouts because of the strikeout the side there? Or was it 14?
13 strikeouts.
13 strikeouts for Mariner pitching in game two. The offense wasn't great, but it did just enough. The at-bats were better. Davin Fulton had a great day at the dish today. A lot of great at-bats for him. And going into tomorrow, need to take 2 if you're the Mariners.
Both Travis Campbell and Caden Pierce over the last 2 innings. The last 6 outs, 3 strikeouts from Travis Campbell, 3 strikeouts from Caden Pierce. We'll take a look at the final totals for you for the victorious Mariners. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. And for the Knights in defeat, 3 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. For Mount St. Mary, their season ends at 14-24, 8-12 in conference play, 7-11 on the road. The Mariners, another 20-win season, now 20-13 overall. 12-6 in conference play, and 11-5 as the home team here at Bartizak Field. 13-5 if you include the doubleheader they played as the road team against Mount St. Vincent on Sunday. For everyone here at Bartizak Field in the Merchant Marine Academy, George Whitbread, we say thank you to our SID Joe Guster, our assistant SID John Kelly Jr., our baseball managers who do a great job helping with the stream of the broadcast here in the booth. George Whitbread, Frank Rampin saying so long for we hope is not the last time this year. We hope to talk to you Wednesday when the Mariners host a first-round playoff game in what would be the 4-5 game. Work to be done tomorrow in Manhattanville. But if in fact this is our final baseball broadcast here at the Ray in 2026, we want to say thank you, the listeners, for tuning in all season long as George